Now, let's turn our attention to the unrest in France, actually, because the police shooting of a teen who was stopped for traffic offences has been deemed unlawful. The officer who opened fire is now under investigation for voluntary homicide. The shooting happened on Tuesday morning, sparking riots in Paris and French cities. I believe that GB News' reporter Paul Hawkins has the latest for us.
Cars alight. French riot police under attack. This was the Parisian suburb of Nanterre last night. Dozens of young people venting their anger. A second and worse night of violence that spread to other cities in France. At least 150 people arrested. The violence this morning condemned by the French president, who on Tuesday appealed for calm, calling the shooting unforgivable and inexplicable.
The last hours have been marked by violent scenes against police stations, but also schools and town halls, and basically against institutions and the Republic. It's absolutely unjustifiable.
This morning, Nanterre's public prosecutor gave more details about what happened, saying the yellow BMW with 3 people inside was stopped for erratic driving and because of the driver's young age. A chase ensued when it refused to comply, speeding past a red light and putting the public at risk. When the driver refused to stop again, the policeman shot the 17-year-old known as Nahel. One of the passengers was found later, but police are still looking for the other one. The officer who opened fire is now under investigation for voluntary homicide. But while France may be shocked, its ethnic minorities are not. Police figures show the majority of victims of lethal French police shootings during traffic stops since 2017 were black or Arab. France's human rights ombudsman has opened an inquiry into the shooting. Appeals for calm continue. Paul Hawkins, GB News.
Let's go to Paris now and speak to journalist Regis Le Sommier. Thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. I hope you are safe, because according to reports here, 40,000 extra police across the country of France are flooding the streets. And in fact, we did have a live feed of what was going on in Paris. That has crashed because apparently there are too many people in the area and the signal's absolutely knackered. So what's going on where you are? Or has been going on anyway?
Well, it was very chaotic last night. I live in a little town which is next to Nanterre. Actually, it's right on the other side of the hill. And you could hear a siren all night long and sound of shooting. There's another place called Suresnes also, which is right by, with a project there's been, the object of riots as well. So all throughout the Parisian suburbs, there were chaotic scenes last night and cars burned this morning. As we passed by, they even managed in my area to burn an entire tramway, which was never seen before, which is the T2, which is the line I regularly use to go to work, and they burned down an entire train. So it was, that's the type of riots from the suburb that we have not seen since 2005, with that intensity, with that spread. And this is that's caught everyone by surprise.
Why this though? Why specifically this? Is there some kind of cultural undertone to this? Is this a divide between the working class or poorer people, I suppose, to put it more sensitively, maybe poorer people, or is there some kind of ethnic issue at play here? What's going on?
No, there was a problem with the way the president last night, when the dramatic shooting occurred, the president said right away, this is unacceptable. And as usual, when a politician of that spectrum intervene in something like this, it was almost an open word for the riots to occur, because the rioters could see, well, the president is on our side, he's not on the side of the police. And more in this type of events, the police and the rioters are, there are two camps. Whereas, I mean, when you look at things, it's a little more complicated than the police being racist and attacking or, trying to shoot at young kids from the suburbs. First, the one that was killed, tragically killed, had a heavy record of unrest and he was, known by the judicial institution, even though he was only 17. And so it was not an angel like Kylian Mbappe, our French football player described him. So and the story is not only a guy, pulling out his gun and shooting. There's a whole complicated, traffic unrest story before that. However, that doesn't excuse for a policeman to shoot at a guy. He should have shot, in the tire of the car or do something to stop the car differently. He did, he purposely aimed at the little boy and killed him. So but there's a need for justice. There's a need for clarification. And the words by Macron were very, very awkward and actually really opened, in my opinion, said, okay, we're going to riot and the French authority won't be able to say anything.
I honestly just wonder whether the human race is just becoming ungovernable, actually, when you look at the way that people kick off over the definitely fallible and problematic death of somebody. There's no getting around that, but who has got a criminal record and who is no angel. And then the people that you look for to lead them make massive mistakes. And then everyone goes out on the streets and sets things on fire. And you just think, good grief, what's happening?